Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to 32nd episode of Psychology Talks. And I'm your host, Amreen Nadeem. And today we'll discuss how to stay positive during difficult times. Usually, everybody can stay positive when there are good times and they're happy. But the most difficult time is like when you're faced with challenges and you're surrounded with negativity. And last 2 years have been really difficult for many people as they have lost their jobs, their loved ones, and due to so many travel restrictions or other restrictions, people were separated. They were living in the silos, and that is the reason why all of this had negative impact on mental health. And most importantly, it created a negative impact on youngsters. And unfortunately, many people adopted negative coping mechanism like self-harm, suicide, spending too much time on social media. So it all accumulated a lot. So I feel this is the very important uh, topic to discuss on such forum to bring awareness about this topic, that how they can cope negative circumstances with positivity. So that's why our guest today is Preston Weekes. He is an expert on this topic. He is an extraordinary business and life coach. He has worked with high net worth individuals. He has transformed several businesses into highly successful ones and changed lives of thousands of people across the globe. He owns several businesses. Few of them are like Operation X, Formula EQ, and many more. But moreover, like he is a uh, humble human being. He's always ready to serve humanity, and his mission is to make the world work for 100% of humanity. And that is why he's one of my favorite personalities on LinkedIn. So let's welcome Preston Weekes. Welcome to the Psychology Talks. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amber, for having me here. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. It's an honor to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all of the audience who have joined us today, whether they're watching us from like YouTube, Twitter, or any other platform. So thank you so much for joining us. And maybe you can drop a line here to introduce yourself, that from where you're joining us. So how are you today?
Amazing, amazing. As always, this week's been going better than ever. I had some great client success stories that had happened this week. And so that's what fills my cup, is to see success happen with the people that I work with, because then it's creating out in the world. It's creating more, it's creating better. And so that was really great to have happen.
Oh, that's lovely. So before we actually start our discussion on how to stay positive during these challenging times, tell us a little more about yourself, about maybe your journey of life, and how did your struggles in life made you stronger, and maybe like then you can share your struggles, that what made you stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my journey in life, my entrepreneurial journey, I started with one car, one $1,600 car, and I was trying to figure out how to
Okay.
pay my way through school. So I had a
Oh, okay.
challenge, in front of
Hmm.
me, and I had a challenge in front of me, and I had something I was trying to overcome it. So I bought a car and I started to reinvest in myself, and
Hmm.
I I went through this journey like people do, like business owners do, like entrepreneurs do. We have to face these challenges. We have to overcome these challenges. And as entrepreneurs or business owners, like people on LinkedIn out there, like it's a business community, right? All you are as a business are a solution provider, or you're a solution creator for other people. And so you've got to be strong. You've got to be powerful. You've got to be able to show up, and you've got to be able to overcome these things that get thrown at you. Like we've been through a lot of stuff, last year. We've been through a lot of change last year. But if we can be in a position to be powerful, if we can be in a position to show up strong, then we can take change and actually create opportunity from change. Because change, wherever, it's like the yin and the yang of life. Like with balance of positivity becomes opposition. The same thing with change. Whenever change is happening, change creates challenges, but it creates opportunities. And so if we can position our lives to be able to be looking for those situations, to be able to be looking for those different things, then we can actually start to create our life in any situation that we're faced with, any situation that we're dealt with. So I've always been an obsessive studier of thought leaders, of people, of different things that help, like the Tony Robbins and the Mark Victor Hansons and the Zig Ziglars and the Napoleon Hills and all these people that have created all these great ideas out there in the world. That all those ideas are great, but you have to start with that foundation. You have to start with yourself and build yourself up with those tools. And so as I went through my entrepreneurial journey, I went through different challenges and I built some big companies. And as we entrepreneurs get involved, right, in these companies kind of become us. Like we spend so much time, we spend so much effort, we spend so much of our lives working to do this stuff. And it kind of becomes us. It becomes identity. It becomes who we are, who we feel like, who we think we are, right? And when those things hit challenges, we feel like we failed. We feel like we failed inside. And I remember facing some of the biggest challenges in my life as an entrepreneur and having things happen, like a company that has a situation that's blowing up, right? And that company is going to fail. It's on a path towards negative trajectory. And when I didn't have the understandings and that powerful base I was talking about earlier in life, then I didn't have the ability to go deal with it. And I actually was mistaken. And I felt like I was failing in life. And that's what happens. That's too common out there in the world today, is that people feel like they're failing when the things around them fail. But it's not true. It's not true. It's a misconception. It's a lie. It's a deception. Because things around you fail, life changes, there's different challenges that come at you all the time. But when we realize and we bring that power back into life, that you are the creator of your life. You are actually the creator of what happens around you. And you can, by knowing that and being able to react that way, you can take control back over these situations. You can take control back over these challenging things that we're faced with. So I can get in, more of that later. But yeah, that's what I wanted to lead into, Brain.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Actually, you actually explained so well that how we get into this cycle of like sort of a vicious cycle, that when we are faced with negative circumstances, we take it onto ourselves, and then we again and we start feeling negative emotion, and then again because of these negative emotion, we get stuck into the cycle. We perform uh, worse, and then we get lesser result, and then like it keeps on repeating, and then we are stuck in that cycle. So I think you explained so well, and that's how it is. We need to break that cycle to come out from it, and then see that okay, these obstacles are just there. These are the just events, and we need to change the mindset. We need to change our thought process to see it as an obstacle, and rather than we need to see it as an opportunity rather than an obstacle. So that's definitely great. So
Yeah,
moving on to the other question, that
yeah,
yeah, so it's as I said, that we need to change our thoughts, we need to change our thinking process, but it's not easy.
yeah.
It needs a lot of effort, because when we are in the cycle, because we are stuck in the loop. So
Mhm.
how to actually change that mindset? What tips you give
Yeah,
to our audience today, that how to
yeah. So
break it? Yeah.
there's a lot of different things that involve change. So I talked about this actually earlier this week, but we go through these certain times in life where we have like a paradigm. I call it paradigm shift. We have
Mhm.
that understanding. We have that pivotal thing that happens in our life that we go, oh, and it reshifts how you saw it. So all of a sudden, maybe it was like this, and you're kind of like hazy. It was blocking your vision. You couldn't quite see. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, you're looking at it like here, and you go, "Oh, that's perfectly clear." Now I can see exactly what I thought I saw before was a little bit wrong. And then what can you do with that? What can you do with that? So it's these paradigm shifts that you can get these micro understandings in life that literally change your reality and that literally change your understanding of everything, and they bring you up to that next level. But then the question is, how do you get it, right? So that's like what it is. But how do we access that? How do we see those things? And so there's different things that we can do. We need to support ourselves. We need to support ourselves with what we're trying to do. And there's a lot of different ways that we can support ourselves too. So we can support ourselves, with a network of positive people. You hear those phrases like you become the person you are around most, or um, you'll be the same person. Charlie Tremendous Jones says you'll be the same person in 5 years as you are today, except for the 5 books you read and the 5 people you hang out with the
Yeah.
most. And but so that's something you can start to look at and go, okay, you know, who am I around? Who do I actually spend my life with? And what are those people doing? How are they affecting me? Because that influence is real. And if you're around people that are negative, you're going to have negativity around you. You need to look at it, you need to remove it, and you need to get it out of the way so it's not showing up in your life. Because we have these, that's the other things, the next level is to take a look at these circumstances. And we have these circumstances that are happening all the time, is happening around us. And too much of the world right now lives in fear. Fear is negative. It's bad for you. It's bad energy. It's bad flow. It's bad thought. If you look at the study of science, the study of epigenetics and things like that, fear downregulates the body. It makes you more prone to get sick. It makes you more prone to not have energy. It makes you more unable, to deal with life. And so we have these situations, right, that create these negative experiences in life. But what people need to do on another level too, other than surrounding themselves with people to deal with these negative situations, is to start to operate in the now. If people start to operate in the now and really get a grasp of that, and what I mean by that is, so there's different fears. Like it's like, you have all the things around the world, the wars, the economic situations, the sicknesses, the stuff, right? And that's real. I'm not discrediting that that's not happening in different places, but too many people bring that into their life when it's not happening inside their life. And so if you think about that today, like I have a choice. I have a choice. Between birth and death, we have a choice. Between B and D, we have the C. It's a choice in life. And I have a choice to take that on and to bring it into my life. I have a choice to take that on and bring it into my house. I have a choice to take that feeling, that emotion on today. Or I have a choice to not do that and choose how I feel today and set myself up to go, okay, yeah, that is happening. That's a reality. There are things that are happening that are really difficult, but I'm okay. I'm okay, and I'm in my house today, and I'm fine. I'm healthy. I'm not dying today. I'm awake, and I can smile, and I can go on to live another day. And embracing what you have and embracing what you can do it's that gratitude. It's great grabbing onto that gratitude and actually writing it and using it and implementing it. But it's living in the now. It's going, okay, that's not actually happening. It's not actually happening. It's living in the now. And I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to live in the now and do what I can to live the way I want to live right now, and not the
Yeah.
way that some news station tells me to live or that I should feel,
Yeah.
or different stuff like that. So that's my tip number two, and then I'll add one more. So live in the now, surround yourself with amazing people, and then start to pick a plan and set yourself up for success. Now, it's taking action. So you do something to support yourself. Do something to support yourself. Whether it's you've got to be you're the world's always in motion. Like I got my globe behind me. The world's always spinning. Like we're here, we're talking, we're across the globe, which is amazing that we have that technology. We're all over the world right now,
Yeah.
communicating, helping people. But life's in motion, life's changing, life's happening, and just because that is actually happening, you're either going forward or you're going backward. Either progressing or digressing, because people are advancing while we're here talking. People are doing things. People are getting things done, and that life is in motion. And so we can choose what we do right now, and then but we need to take action. We need to take action. We need to support ourselves, because if we don't have a target that we're going toward, then it's too easy to go off. And so if you line these things and you get a target that you're going toward, and you have the support systems around your life to get you on track, to keep you on track, to keep you in the right mindset, to keep you, in the right direction, then you can actually start to build a system that will give you the ability and the tools to conquer life, or to face your fears, or to be up, or to do all these different things that we want to do inside, that we wake up to do every day, that we live to do, that we strive to do inside. And our purpose is, right? To find our purpose here and to go and to
Yeah.
fulfill it. So, yeah, those are my 3 tips.
Yeah, I mean, it's like these are the brilliant actually tips that you gave, and I think that because all of these things happening around us, like so media and like as you said, like wars and economic situation, and that could not be directly affecting us, but when we are actually exposed to this information, we take it like internalize these information, and we think that it's happening to us, and that take it all on us. And I think this is very important, that we need to become aware of what's happening to us and what is causing us. For example, as you said, that a lot of people feel the fear because of all these wars and economic situation, and this is may not be directly in their lives, but they are feeling this fear because this is happening maybe around the globe, and they're feeling depressed because of this. So we need
Yep.
to maybe like switch off all these bombardment of information and focus on what is going on in our lives.
Yep.
That's how we can pick and choose how to focus and where to give attention, which is actually important, and should not actually waste our energies to uh, listen to all these like nonsense what is going on the media or the social
Mhm.
media, because that actually, when we listen to it, or sometimes because it may not have direct impact, but it drains our energy, and that is the main thing that creates negativity, or gives make has have a negative impact on our mental health. So we need to pick and choose what to focus on. And as you like said already, that we need to live in the moment now, what is happening most of the time. With I like even yesterday I was conducting a workshop on stress, and my main focus was, when we feel stress because we are unnecessarily worrying about something. And when we worry is something, is like a rocking chair. You just keep on, it will keep you busy, but you won't get anywhere. So like one
Yeah.
thought keeps on coming again and again and again, you're just thinking about it and not doing anything. So it just wastes the energy, it drains our energy, and and we're just wasting time. So very important thing is we need to focus or set our priorities, that what do we want. And have, I think the very important thing again, what I feel is that we need to become aware of it, and we need to take a pause and have a like one-to-one connection with us, and that is when like we realize that what is going on in our life. And
Mhm.
again, I like moving on to the other question, as you already said, that sometimes we are stuck in those situations, and we need to find the right company, right company of people who help us, stay positive, because sometimes when we are like talking all the time negativity of, like, this is, these circumstances are wrong, and it is like making us fail again and again. And if we again like discussing the same thing with the people who are actually reinforcing our like self-limiting beliefs, or those wrong beliefs that hampers our growth, so we won't be able to change our circumstances. So my next question is that, sometimes we are so much stuck with the company. How do we actually change our surrounding, or because sometimes like all these are the family members or the close friends, we can't just uh, go and, like, you just close the door to them and move on to some other people and start building some network. So what are your tips to actually
Mhm.
find the right people who support you, especially
Yeah.
during
Well,
negative
I've got,
times?
I've got two answers to that, because
Okay.
sometimes even when you have really close relationships, if you're around someone that's so toxic, you have to get away from them. There's some
Yeah.
certain situations
Yes.
where it's just required, and sometimes it actually takes extreme action, you know. So there are some situations that actually do require that, you know.
Yeah.
But
True.
in even family relationships and stuff, and it's difficult. And sometimes people, I'm glad that you brought it up too, because actually sometimes people feel like they are trapped in a situation that's a relationship when they're actually not trapped. When they actually do, they go, oh yeah, that like does seem crazy, but like I can leave, or I can move, or I can quit my job, or I can, whatever, that situation. But if you're around in the situation, you've got to deal with situations too. Then what we can do is, to focus deeply on that type of stuff, and it goes into programming. And that's one thing you brought up, the word internalize,
Yes.
earlier, and I like that, because internalizing. So the way that we deal with life, we have our conscious and our subconscious mind. And our conscious mind is, and I call it's kind of like like if you imagine a ship, it's like your body is a ship, and it's like the ship's going across the ocean. Your conscious mind's the captain. The conscious mind's, observing things and looking things and doing orders,
Yeah.
and your subconscious mind's that part that's just like carrying out things automatically. It's the crew. It's making sure the engine works. It's making sure you show up at the right place. It's making sure you do the right things. And so we have that, but the subconscious mind is actually 95% of what operates us, every single day of our life. And so we're aware of this 5%, and all this other stuff's happening. We have responses going off. We have systems that are being carried out. We have different things that are happening. And so if you have to deal consciously with difficult situations, you need to build your subconscious programming up to be someone of power, to be someone of light, to be someone of joy, to be someone of happiness, to be someone of love, or whatever it is that you want to feel, or that you want to try to be in that situation. That might be a dark space, or it might not be an ideal situation. And so you can do that through things like meditation. And so, I run Formula EQ. You mentioned that earlier. So I have a company, formulaeq.com, and we teach people emotional intelligence. We teach people how to be powerful and show up as powerful people. But what we teach is a morning routine. So if everyone, can develop a morning routine, what's important about the morning routine is that the morning routine sets you up for the day. So we go out in the day, we go out to go do all these things during the day. So a lot of times we know what we're going to do. Sometimes we don't know what we're going to do. Sometimes we know parts of what we're going to do. But we can program ourselves at the beginning of the day to show up as a person we need to be through the rest of the day. And we can do that through establishing a morning routine, and through doing things like meditation and breathing exercises and introspection and other different things that we teach at Formula EQ. But that's a tip where, like, that morning routine is a foundation to set your life off for success. Because if you're not, then you're not aiming your ship. You're just saying, all right, let's go, let's go take on the world. We'll figure it out on the way. And then
Yeah.
you're responding. You're not responding, and you're not creating what you want. You're reacting, and
Yeah.
there's a big difference in life when you experience it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm so glad that you brought it up, like the morning routines, because this is one thing that I feel that has transformed my life as well. Because this, as you said, that when we start the day without planning or something, it's like we jumping into it and just like facing as it comes. It's not we're not prepared to face whatever it comes. So like it's and change start from we need to have some change in our lives to bring change. It cannot be the same way, like we cannot do the same things again and again and expect the different result. And these are the little habits that we need to change, and that creates an immense impact for our future. And I feel that in the morning when we wake up, like I actually like to wake up early in the morning, and that's the time when we feel that we can connect with ourselves, because our mind is fresh. At that point in time, we don't have like thoughts racing our mind about, let's say, the project or about like the family problem or anything. This is the time that we're like fresh, and the mind is fresh, like our body is fresh. And that is the time we feel that we can connect much better and quicker with our own self than any other time of the day. So I think this is definitely one practice that I think everyone should definitely follow to bring change in their life. And it also, I feel that when I started practicing this, I feel a lot of calm in myself. Like when I, for example, I used to feel frustrated when or stress when I feel that I was not able to do meet the deadlines, or just anything that goes wrong in the day. But when I started practicing, like waking up early in the morning, doing the meditation or something, it brought calm to my personality. I feel much relaxed, and I feel much confident to face any challenges in the rest of the day. So yes, that's definitely one of the really really good tips. So
Thank
moving
you.
on to, yeah, and to another question is basically, and I think we're also running a bit of like running out of time, so this will be the last question.
Yeah.
So when usually in the difficult times we faced we face usually failures again and again, sometimes rejections, and like all these things. So how to build resilience to face these challenges? Because once when we, for example, maybe we're applying for the job, and we feel that we perform really good at interviews, but then we get the rejection. Maybe when we are trying to get something done and we're failing again and again, like okay, like one time is again, we can keep the motivation like to a certain level, but sometimes things are not happening and we are failing again and again. So how to actually maintain our positivity during that time?
hmm Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
including some of the stuff I think fit that I mentioned. Adding all that into it. One of the biggest things is to gain understanding of failures, because failures. So what happens is, so the human experience is all the same. My business partner Eldon Hassa runs the podcast called The Human Experience. It's a
Yeah.
great name, because the human experience is all the same on the human level. That's what's so beautiful about it. It doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter your income level, doesn't matter your political views, all these things that divide people, right? And it's that human experience, it's the exact same. And it's that we have these circumstances that occur, and then whatever that human experience is involved in it, and we make a meaning from what happens. But then we start to create. So we start to create a feeling inside, and those feelings are the same. And those feelings are the same in every person in the entire world. The situation's different, but the feeling's the same. The human
Yeah.
experience is the exact same. and we all feel fear, and we all feel
Yeah.
sadness, and we all feel loss, and we all feel anger and frustration and happiness and joy and all these different things. And so the biggest thing is, right, literally sit people down and have them write it out. Okay, what am I creating in my life? Like, you look at what's happening around your life and look at what you're creating in your life, because when you look at that, there's the external circumstances that are happening, but the emotion only exists inside of you. It only exists inside of you, and it doesn't exist in any other place in the entire world. So fear or sadness or scared or anything only exists inside yourself. And when we gain an understanding of that, a deep understanding of that, it gives us the power to do something with it. Because I go, okay, yeah, that's happening, that's real. But if this worry, I gotta, pay my bills tomorrow. I don't have enough money, today. If the worry, inside me, the situation's happening, but the processing taking inside is created by me. I'm going, okay, I'm creating fear. And that fear is stopping my ability to do anything about it. It's stopping
Yes.
my ability to resolve the problem. It's stopping my ability to show up the way I want to show up. So if I'm a business owner and a dad, and so if 10% of myself is full of fear and 10% of myself is full of stress, and every single place I show up, if I show up at my work, if I show up with my customers, if I show up with my kids, if I show up with my wife, I'm only showing up as 80% me because I'm taken away. And so if we can gain that understanding, we gain that paradigm shift understanding to go, okay, I'm going to gain control of my life. I'm going to gain control of everything. I'm going to look at what I'm creating in my life, and I'm going to take the power back. I'm going to take the power back in my own hands, and I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to recreate myself. And we can recreate ourselves through the meditation or the different things that I've mentioned. But this process, I guide people through that process I just described. I guide people through that and literally change people's lives. And in a 2 hour phone call with someone, I I've actually had people overcome traumatic situations that they've encountered their whole entire life that have held them back. I've had people overcome, with 2 months or whatever of working through like situations of things, a life of anxiety, like clinical prescribed, 30 years of anxiety overcome in 2 months. And so it's gaining control of your emotions, gaining control of what you are actually creating in your life, what you are actually creating in your world, and really, really understanding that relationship with it. And if you understand that relationship with it and you own that understanding, nothing can change you. Nothing can have power over you. Nothing can have control over you in your life. And then you can do all these other things I mentioned to support yourself to make sure that you don't forget what you learned. So you have things like the Formula EQ Academy. That's why I do weekly. That's why I designed my academy for a weekly academy, because, like I said, life's in motion. It's changing. It's always happening. And so if you don't have that target to go back on, then new challenges come at us and life changes, and then we get like a little confused, and then all of a sudden, we ended up over here and we're not on the path where we want to be, and we're not like at the final, optimal state. So we need to support ourselves. We need to do that, clear through the week, move past the stuff in the past, gain your power back in your life, and then support yourself with tools so you can live and be the way you want to live 100% of the time, whenever you want, and no one else can change you. And it's amazing.
Yes, I mean, that's actually wonderful advice that, we need to actually understand our emotions, and then we need to separate ourselves actually from getting swayed by the emotion. And that's how I think that's what you teach at Formula EQ, and that's what it is all about, to gain mastery over our emotion, and that's emotional quotient, that is EQ. It is then that's why it is very important even for the leaders to have better emotional intelligence, so they can manage their emotions, and most importantly manage others emotion as well who are surrounded by themselves. So
Mhm.
okay,
Yep.
I'm afraid that, like, the time is running out, and we're reaching an end towards the end of the show. So before closing our show, what one advice would you give to our audience today?
Take action. Pick one thing that I talked about today. No, really, like, so just right now, commit to
Mhm.
yourself. Commit to yourself. Write it down. Take one thing I mentioned today, one thing that you learned, or a couple, or whatever. But one thing, or maybe I didn't teach you. Maybe you heard it earlier. Whatever. But something
Yeah.
from today, and take action and do something, because I can give you all the information in the world. I can teach you all the information in the world, but it's absolutely meaningless unless you make a plan to go deploy it in your life tomorrow. Absolutely. So, everyone that listens all the way to the end of this thing, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you, go change your life. Go do something. Go choose something, because
Yeah.
I believe in you. Ambreen believes in you. This is why she puts this whole thing on, to help you. So, go and
Yes.
do it. That's it.
Yes, I think that's definitely, just do it now. And I think there's always the right time is always now. There's no other time. And whenever, like, we may plan for several things in life, but it goes, it wastes, because if we don't take action, it remains a dream, it remains a fantasy if we just keep on thinking about it and just don't take action. So that's definitely brilliant, brilliant advice. And I'm sure our audience have learned a lot from your brilliant discussion and your tips and advice. So thank you so much. And before I close this show, please tell our audience that how they can reach you. Maybe like your what is the best way to reach you if they need anything, any help. So what is the best medium to reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Formulaeq.com. So check out formulaeq.com. And I've got a link. Maybe I could get Amber if we put it in the chat or
Yeah, I
something.
just need it.
And so I want to invite anyone who wants,
Yeah.
if anyone is looking for support,
Mhm.
I will let anyone come as my guest to the Formula EQ Academy. We just put a link in the chat. And so
Yeah,
it's
I
a
just need
it's
it.
free guest registration. So you can come and you could see what we teach, see what we experience, and if it's a support system you want to add in your life, or maybe you just learn something, or whatever it is. But anyone who wants to do that, check out formulaeq.com or that link in the chat, and that's the direct guest link where you can register and be my guest for free.
And thank you so much for actually sharing this link. I've shared it on, like, the chat, so people can contact you. And you're doing an amazing job. I know I can, like, because I've also learned a lot from you, and I'm sure whoever wants to learn really genuine, authentic advice, or get these, like, information on how to be successful in life, so please reach out to him, and he's the right person. So okay, and
Thank you.
it's time to say goodbye and bye bye, and have a nice day.
Thanks,